What if the world was literally on fire? Some zodiac signs wouldn't even bat an eye. Today, we're revealing the signs that keep calm, carry on, or even thrive while chaos unfolds. Are you one of them? 12. Libra prefers balance but won't intervene when chaos isn't her problem. Libra, the seventh sign of the zodiac, is symbolized by the scales, representing their inherent desire for balance, fairness, and harmony. Ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty, Libras are naturally diplomatic, charming, and aesthetically attuned. They thrive in environments where peace prevails and often go out of their way to ensure that everyone gets along, striving to create a harmonious atmosphere in their relationships and surroundings. However, this quest for equilibrium can sometimes lead to a tendency to avoid conflict at all costs. Libras may struggle with indecision and have difficulty making choices, especially when those decisions might disrupt the harmony they so deeply value. They often prefer to stay out of situations that could lead to confrontation, even if it means turning a blind eye to chaos unfolding around them. This inclination to sidestep turmoil doesn't stem from a lack of empathy or concern, but rather from a deep-seated need to maintain inner peace. When faced with external chaos, Libras may choose to disengage, focusing instead on creating a serene environment for themselves. This approach allows them to preserve their emotional balance, even if it means not intervening when others might expect them to take action. In relationships, this can manifest as a reluctance to address issues head-on. Libras might avoid difficult conversations or suppress their own needs to keep the peace. While this can make them excellent mediators and companions, it can also lead to unresolved tensions if they consistently prioritize harmony over honesty. Despite these challenges, Libras possess a strong sense of justice and fairness. When the chaos directly affects them or their loved ones, they are more likely to step in and advocate for what is right. Their natural diplomacy and charm can be powerful tools in restoring balance and resolving conflicts when they choose to engage. In essence, while Libras may prefer to avoid chaos and conflict, their desire for balance and fairness ensures that they will act when it truly matters. Their approach to life's challenges is one of grace and composure, always striving to tip the scales back toward harmony. 11. Pisces, lost in dreams, oblivious to the world's burning around them. Pisces, the 12th sign of the zodiac, is symbolized by two fish swimming in opposite directions, representing the duality of their inner and outer worlds. Ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams, intuition, and imagination, Pisces are deeply empathetic, sensitive, and often lost in their rich inner landscapes. Their natural inclination is to drift between reality and fantasy, finding solace in creativity, art, or spiritual pursuits. This dreamy disposition, while inspiring and magical, can make Pisces appear oblivious to the harsh realities around them. When chaos, conflict, or societal problems arise, Pisces may retreat inward, choosing the safety of their imagination over direct confrontation. They are not indifferent by nature. They feel deeply, but their way of coping is to escape into a world where beauty, compassion, and emotion reign supreme. Pisces' sensitivity is both a gift and a vulnerability. They absorb emotions from their surroundings like a sponge, often becoming overwhelmed by negativity. To protect themselves, they may mentally distance themselves from troubling events, focusing instead on artistic creation, daydreams, or spiritual contemplation. This tendency can make them seem detached or unaware of the burning crises occurring in the external world, even when they are deeply affected on an emotional level. Their idealism also plays a role. Pisces often see the world as it could be rather than as it is, which can make them appear naive or impractical. They prefer to envision solutions in an imaginative or empathetic sense, rather than engage in direct, sometimes harsh actions. While this can be inspiring to others, it sometimes prevents them from intervening in situations that require decisive action. In relationships, Pisces' dreamy nature means they often prioritize emotional connection and understanding over pragmatic concerns. They can become so immersed in nurturing or empathizing with loved ones that they overlook external conflicts, choosing instead to create a haven of emotional safety. This can make them invaluable as confidants, yet it also exposes them to the risk of being blindsided by realities they have chosen to ignore. Ultimately, Pisces' gift is their ability to transcend the mundane and bring imagination, compassion, and spiritual insight into the world. Their challenge lies in balancing this inner richness with an awareness of external realities, learning when to act and when to dream. Their escapism is not carelessness. It is a protective, instinctive way of navigating a world that often feels overwhelming. 10. Taurus, stubbornly comfortable, ignoring destruction as long as it doesn't touch home. Taurus, the second sign of the zodiac, is symbolized by the bull, embodying determination, steadiness, and a deep connection to comfort and security. Ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, pleasure, and material enjoyment, Taurus values stability above all else. Their natural instinct is to create a solid, comfortable foundation for themselves and those they care about, often prioritizing personal comfort over external chaos. Taurus's love for routine, security, and the familiar often means that when the world around them burns or collapses, they instinctively retreat into their own protected sphere. It's not that Taurus is indifferent or unfeeling, rather, their energy is invested in preserving what they know and value. They are acutely aware of threats, yet their stubborn nature leads them to focus on what they can control: home, family, possessions, and personal well-being, rather than the larger, uncontrollable chaos. This grounding can make Taurus seem impervious to outside problems. If a disaster or conflict occurs that doesn't directly impact their immediate comfort zone, they are likely to observe it from a distance rather than intervene. Their practical, measured approach prioritizes preservation over reaction. This stubborn comfort is both a survival mechanism and a reflection of their inner desire for stability. They are unwilling to be swept away by crises that do not directly touch their sense of security. Taurus's connection to the material and sensory world reinforces this tendency. Luxuries, pleasures, and physical comforts are deeply grounding for them, creating a buffer against the chaos outside. They might immerse themselves in work, hobbies, or indulgences as a way to maintain equilibrium, avoiding situations that threaten their peace. This makes them appear unbothered or even detached, though inside they are quietly assessing risks and planning ways to maintain their stability. In relationships, Taurus's steady and loyal nature shines. They focus on sustaining a safe, harmonious environment for loved ones and rarely let external disturbances interfere with their protective instincts. However, their reluctance to engage with wider chaos can sometimes frustrate those who seek immediate action or intervention. They measure threats carefully and prefer to act only when absolutely necessary. Ultimately, Taurus thrives in the midst of personal security, often ignoring the turmoil beyond their walls as long as their world remains intact. Their stubbornness is a double-edged sword. It preserves their stability, but can make them appear detached or indifferent to larger issues. Yet, in a world of constant change and uncertainty, Taurus's unwavering focus on comfort and control is a unique form of resilience, allowing them to endure where others might falter. 9. Cancer, emotionally sensitive, but sometimes retreats while the fire rages. Cancer, the fourth sign of the zodiac, is symbolized by the crab and ruled by the moon, which governs emotions, intuition, and subconscious reactions. Cancers are deeply empathetic and sensitive, capable of feeling the emotional currents of everyone around them. Their emotional depth is one of their greatest strengths, but it also makes them prone to withdrawing when situations become overwhelming. A defining characteristic of Cancer is their instinct for protection, both for themselves and their loved ones. When confronted with chaos or destruction in the outside world, their initial response is often to retreat into the safety of their own shell. This protective withdrawal is a natural coping mechanism. The intensity of the world's turmoil can be too much for their delicate emotional balance, prompting them to focus on what they can control: their home, family, and personal emotional sphere. Despite their sensitivity, Cancer is not entirely passive. While they may physically or emotionally withdraw, they remain deeply aware of the unfolding events. Inside, they process and analyze the situation, often feeling more than they let on. They are highly intuitive, capable of sensing dangers, betrayals, or shifts in the emotional climate long before others notice. This awareness, however, does not always translate into outward action. Their retreat is less about indifference and more about self-preservation and the careful management of their emotional resources. Cancer's attachment to home and family makes their withdrawal highly selective. They may ignore widespread chaos if it does not directly affect those they care about, But if loved ones are threatened, their protective instincts can override their need for retreat. In these moments, Cancer transforms from passive observer to fierce guardian, channeling their emotional energy into decisive action to defend and protect. This duality, sensitive yet self-protective, makes Cancer complex in crises. While their withdrawal can be frustrating to outsiders who expect immediate engagement, it is a reflection of their emotional depth and the need to maintain balance. They cannot engage recklessly with a chaotic environment without risking their own well-being. Ultimately, Cancer navigates the world with a delicate combination of empathy and caution. They feel deeply, yet their instinct to retreat ensures that they survive emotionally intact, ready to respond when they can make a meaningful impact. Their sensitivity is a superpower, allowing them to navigate turbulent times with awareness, even if it means stepping back while the fire rages around them. 8. Leo seeks attention, watching the chaos as long as it entertains them. Leo, the fifth sign of the zodiac, is ruled by the sun and symbolized by the lion, representing pride, strength, and charisma. Leos are natural performers. Their presence commands attention, and they thrive in environments where their energy is recognized and admired. When the world seems to be burning around them, their instinct is not necessarily panic or immediate intervention. Instead, they are drawn to observe the spectacle, especially if it captures their curiosity or provides an opportunity to shine. At their core, Leo craves recognition and admiration. In chaotic situations, this need for attention shapes their response. They might not rush to extinguish the fire or solve the problem immediately. Instead, they watch, analyze, and engage selectively, choosing moments where their presence can be noticed and appreciated. The chaos becomes a stage for Leo, a backdrop against which their reactions, insights, or bravery can stand out. This does not necessarily make them uncaring. Rather, their sense of self and desire to be seen can sometimes take precedence over altruistic action. Leos possess immense courage and a strong sense of pride, which can manifest in surprising ways during crises. While they may initially appear as passive observers, their involvement often escalates when the spotlight shifts toward them. If their actions are recognized or their efforts can be celebrated, Leo will leap into the fray with characteristic flair. Their dramatic energy transforms ordinary moments into legendary stories, and even chaotic scenarios can be opportunities to leave a lasting impression. However, their attention-seeking nature also means they are selective about the chaos they engage with. If the turmoil does not involve them or provide any form of acknowledgement, they may remain on the sidelines, observing and enjoying the spectacle without taking direct action. This can give the impression of indifference or superficiality, yet it is tied more to their ego and social instincts than a lack of concern. Leo's ability to remain calm or even entertained amid chaos is partly linked to their confidence. They trust their own strength and abilities, believing they can intervene if truly necessary. Until that point, they are more likely to enjoy the drama, use it as a stage to shine, or assess how they can best assert themselves when the moment calls for it. In essence, Leo navigates the world of chaos like a monarch surveying their kingdom. They observe with keen awareness, assess opportunities for recognition, and act when their involvement can enhance their presence or impact. While they may appear self-absorbed at times, their natural charisma, courage, and dramatic flair ensure that when they do step in, it is memorable, powerful, and impossible to ignore. 7. Virgo, critical and organized, yet overwhelmed by uncontrollable destruction. Virgo, represented by the Virgin and ruled by Mercury, is the zodiac's analytical and meticulous thinker. Virgos thrive in structured environments where order prevails and everything can be accounted for. Their minds are constantly evaluating, planning, and refining, making them natural problem solvers and detail-oriented perfectionists. However, when faced with chaos or uncontrollable destruction, Virgo's usual confidence and control are challenged. The meticulous frameworks they rely upon suddenly feel fragile, and their tendency to overanalyze can lead to stress or indecision. Virgos are inherently practical and cautious. In a crisis, their first instinct is to assess the situation, identify risks, and develop a plan of action. But when the destruction is widespread or unpredictable, like a metaphorical fire consuming everything around them, they can feel powerless. Unlike more impulsive or fearless signs, Virgo struggles when the environment defies logic or order. Their natural tendency to control outcomes clashes with the reality of uncontrollable chaos, leading to feelings of anxiety, frustration, or even temporary withdrawal. Despite this, Virgo's critical eye and sharp intellect do not vanish entirely in such moments. Even amid destruction, they can detect patterns, foresee potential dangers, and anticipate the consequences of actions others might overlook. Their analytical skills become a double-edged sword. They see everything that could go wrong and every flaw in the current situation, which can make them seem overly cautious or pessimistic to those around them. Virgo's perfectionism also means they struggle with accepting imperfection in the world. Chaos is inherently messy, unplanned, and unpredictable, which conflicts deeply with Virgo's inner desire for order. This is why, when disaster strikes, Virgos may initially appear overwhelmed or hesitant. They are not accustomed to surrendering control. Yet, once they orient themselves and develop a practical strategy, their efficiency and reliability shine. They can manage complex situations with calm, step-by-step precision, provided the chaos is somewhat manageable and their plan can be implemented. Emotionally, Virgo tends to internalize stress. Their concern for others' well-being, combined with their perfectionist mindset, can create a heavy burden during times of widespread turmoil. They may feel responsible for fixing problems they cannot control, leading to exhaustion or overexertion. This sense of duty, however, also highlights Virgo's underlying compassion and dedication. They may not leap into the fray impulsively, but their thoughtful, calculated actions often provide the most effective support when truly needed. Ultimately, Virgo's approach to uncontrollable destruction reveals the duality of their nature: critical, precise, and organized, yet deeply human and susceptible to being overwhelmed. While chaos may momentarily shake their confidence, their resilience, intellect, and problem-solving abilities ensure that they can navigate the most difficult situations, albeit with careful planning and deliberate action. In the world of fire and turmoil, Virgo may seem hesitant at first, but their structured approach and commitment to order eventually allow them to rise as one of the most reliable stabilizers in the zodiac. 6. Gemini shrugs off chaos with a playful smirk, adapting effortlessly. Gemini, symbolized by the twins and ruled by Mercury, is the zodiac's quintessential communicator and social chameleon. Known for their adaptability, wit, and boundless curiosity, Geminis possess a remarkable ability to navigate complex social dynamics and shifting environments with ease. While many signs might be paralyzed by unpredictability or chaos, Gemini approaches it with playful detachment and clever improvisation, often shrugging off turmoil as if it were just another scene in a constantly evolving story. At their core, Geminis are highly flexible thinkers. They are capable of seeing multiple sides of a situation simultaneously, which makes them especially resilient when the world around them seems to unravel. Where other signs may panic, retreat, or become overwhelmed, Gemini observes, analyzes, and adapts. Their mind races quickly, finding solutions, opportunities, or even amusement in circumstances that others find stressful or alarming. This duality, their ability to engage with chaos while remaining emotionally detached, allows them to glide through disruption with remarkable ease. Gemini thrives on novelty and variety, so unpredictable events often energize rather than intimidate them. Their playful, often mischievous demeanor helps them to reframe potentially negative situations into opportunities for humor, learning, or clever strategy. Chaos doesn't easily rattle them because they are mentally agile. They can shift perspectives, alter plans, and improvise with a flexibility that feels almost effortless. People around Gemini may be in awe or confusion at how they seem to float through disorder, turning potential stress into a game or challenge to be mastered. Socially, Gemini's adaptability shines. In chaotic scenarios, they can mediate conflicts, keep conversations light, or redirect energy in ways that diffuse tension. Their charm and quick wit often serve as a stabilizing force, even if it is delivered with humor and irony rather than serious authority. Geminis are rarely intimidated by uncertainty because they are innately curious about the unknown. Disruption, to them, is simply another adventure or puzzle to unravel. Emotionally, Gemini tends to maintain a degree of detachment. They feel, of course, but they rarely get bogged down by the weight of disaster. This emotional agility is a defense mechanism as well as a natural trait. They can engage with situations deeply when necessary, but they also know when to step back, observe, and adapt. Their dual nature allows them to shift roles: the observer, the participant, the commentator, or the entertainer, depending on what the situation demands. Ultimately, Gemini's relationship with chaos and destruction highlights their innate versatility and cleverness. They do not seek to control or master every outcome, but they navigate instability with a confidence and lightheartedness that few signs can match. While others may falter under pressure, Gemini thrives, turning disorder into opportunity, uncertainty into curiosity, and disruption into a stage for ingenuity. Their playful smirk is a testament not to indifference, but to their unrivaled ability to adapt, survive, and even enjoy the unpredictable dance of life. 5. Sagittarius thrives in the mess, finding adventure in catastrophe. Sagittarius, the fiery archer ruled by Jupiter, is the zodiac's eternal seeker, adventurer, and philosopher. Known for their boundless curiosity, optimism, and love for freedom, Sagittarians have a remarkable ability to embrace life's chaos with excitement rather than fear. While many signs may crumble or become anxious in the face of uncertainty or turmoil, Sagittarius thrives in the mess, seeing every catastrophe not as a threat, but as an opportunity for exploration, growth, and exhilaration. At their core, Sagittarians possess a restless spirit and a hunger for new experiences. They are drawn to unpredictability, novelty, and challenges that push them beyond their comfort zones. When the world around them seems to spiral into chaos, Sagittarius does not retreat. Instead, they dive headfirst into the whirlwind, eager to discover what lies beyond the horizon. Their natural optimism and adventurous nature allow them to maintain a positive perspective, even when circumstances appear grim, and they often inspire others to see opportunity amidst disorder. Sagittarius's relationship with chaos is intertwined with their love for freedom. They resist constraints, rules, and limitations, thriving in environments where conventional structures fall away. In situations of upheaval, they are quick to adapt, improvising and finding creative solutions while maintaining their characteristic enthusiasm. Their innate philosophical outlook helps them to contextualize disasters, seeing lessons and personal growth opportunities where others only see danger or loss. This ability to frame chaos as an adventure sets Sagittarius apart from more cautious or rigid signs. Emotionally, Sagittarians are resilient. They rarely become bogged down by setbacks, preferring to keep their gaze fixed on the bigger picture. While they feel deeply, their optimistic nature allows them to recover quickly from emotional turbulence. They often approach crises with humor and curiosity, and their enthusiasm can be contagious, motivating those around them to persevere through challenging situations. Sagittarius's love of exploration extends beyond the physical. They are also explorers of ideas, philosophy, and the human spirit, finding meaning in even the most chaotic moments. Socially, Sagittarius thrives in dynamic, unpredictable environments. They can turn disruption into entertainment, inspiration, or growth, often acting as a guide for others in navigating uncertainty. Their adventurous energy is magnetic, drawing people toward them even in times of crisis. In fact, Sagittarius often feels most alive when life is unpredictable, using every twist and turn as a stepping stone to new experiences, knowledge, and personal freedom. Ultimately, Sagittarius's affinity for chaos highlights their adventurous spirit and unyielding optimism. While other signs might flee from disorder, Sagittarius sees it as fertile ground for exploration, learning, and exhilaration. They thrive where others falter, turning catastrophes into adventures and uncertainty into opportunity. For Sagittarius, the flames of chaos are not destructive. They are a call to action, a chance to soar, and a stage for the indomitable archer to shine. 4. Aquarius, detached and analytical, drama never truly touches them. Aquarius, the air sign ruled by Uranus, is known for its intellect, originality, and unconventional approach to life. While many zodiac signs get caught up in chaos, emotional turmoil, or dramatic scenarios, Aquarius remains remarkably detached. Their analytical mind allows them to observe situations objectively, often giving them an almost otherworldly calmness in the face of disaster. Unlike signs that are reactive or emotionally volatile, Aquarius maintains a sense of distance, rarely allowing external drama to infiltrate their inner world. At their core, Aquarians value independence and mental clarity. They prefer to process events logically rather than emotionally, which makes them naturally resilient to the chaos that overwhelms others. When the world around them is in turmoil, Aquarius is often the observer, the strategist, or the problem solver. They can step back, assess the situation without panic, and act with precision if necessary. This detachment is not coldness. It is a conscious choice to prioritize rationality and intellectual control over impulsive emotional reactions. Aquarius thrives on novelty and forward thinking, often focusing on long-term visions instead of getting mired in temporary crises. They are innovators, inventors, and humanitarians who are more interested in solutions than complaints. Even in scenarios where others might be caught up in fear, gossip, or despair, Aquarius remains unaffected, maintaining their sense of purpose and perspective. Their ability to rise above drama stems from a combination of intelligence, emotional self-regulation, and a strong sense of individuality. Emotionally, Aquarius can appear detached or aloof, but this is largely a protective mechanism. By maintaining a mental and emotional distance, they prevent themselves from being overwhelmed by the chaos around them. They are capable of empathy and connection, but they rarely allow external pressures to dictate their internal state. This detachment gives them a unique kind of freedom. They can navigate complex social situations, crises, or conflicts without losing their composure or compromising their principles. Socially, Aquarius often serves as the voice of reason in turbulent environments. Their analytical approach allows them to see patterns and solutions that others may miss, making them invaluable in moments of crisis. Their detachment also makes them resilient in the face of criticism, drama, or manipulation, as they are rarely swayed by peer pressure or emotional theatrics. Ultimately, Aquarius's ability to remain detached and analytical is both their strength and their defining characteristic. Drama, chaos, and emotional upheaval rarely touch them because they choose to rise above it. Where others see disorder, Aquarius sees patterns. Where others panic, they calmly observe. And where others are consumed by fire, they stand grounded, thinking 3 steps ahead. For Aquarius, the world's chaos is simply another puzzle to solve, never a storm to endure. 3. Aries ignores the flames, charging toward their goals undeterred. Aries, the fiery first sign of the zodiac ruled by Mars, is characterized by its boldness, courage, and relentless drive. When chaos surrounds them, most people might hesitate, panic, or seek refuge, but not Aries. They thrive on challenges, and in fact, turbulence often fuels their energy. Their innate fearlessness allows them to push forward even when the flames of adversity are burning all around them. To an Aries, obstacles are not warnings. They are opportunities to demonstrate strength, agility, and determination. At the heart of Aries is a warrior spirit. This is a sign that approaches life with a pioneering mentality, always seeking new experiences and challenges. When the world seems to be collapsing, Aries doesn't stop to analyze or retreat. Instead, they act. Their decisiveness is a key trait, allowing them to make split-second choices that others might delay in making. While some signs might be paralyzed by uncertainty or fear, Aries sees movement as the solution, and inertia as the real danger. The impulsive nature of Aries means they often leap into action without waiting for approval, guidance, or perfect conditions. This can be both a strength and a risk. Their courage allows them to achieve what others cannot, but their headstrong tendencies sometimes lead them into unnecessary conflicts. Nevertheless, their capacity to remain undeterred in the face of destruction or disruption is unparalleled. Challenges energize them. The bigger the risk, the more alive they feel. Emotionally, Aries handles chaos with a directness that few can match. They are not prone to overthinking or succumbing to fear. Instead, they channel their emotions into action, confronting whatever obstacles arise. Even when circumstances seem overwhelming, Aries maintains focus on their objectives, often inspiring others through sheer audacity and tenacity. Their energy is infectious, and their presence in a crisis can galvanize those around them to act rather than despair. In relationships or collaborative endeavors, Aries' approach can be intense. They may seem reckless or impatient to more cautious signs, but this intensity is a reflection of their commitment to progress and action. Aries does not wait for the world to calm down. They make their own path through the chaos, leading with courage, vision, and unyielding determination. Ultimately, Aries' ability to ignore the flames and charge toward their goals defines their essence. Where others see destruction, they see a challenge to conquer. Where others hesitate, they move decisively. Where others fear, they act. Their unwavering focus, daring spirit, and indomitable courage make Aries the embodiment of a zodiac sign that doesn't just survive chaos, it thrives in it. 2. Scorpio revels in destruction, turning chaos into power. Scorpio, the 8th sign of the zodiac ruled by Pluto and Mars, is synonymous with intensity, transformation, and an almost magnetic fascination with the darker aspects of life. Unlike many signs that shy away from turmoil, Scorpios are drawn to the undercurrents of chaos. Where others see destruction as a threat, Scorpio perceives opportunity. Their natural proclivity for strategy, emotional depth, and resilience allows them to navigate the most turbulent situations and emerge stronger, often converting disorder into personal power. At their core, Scorpios are alchemists of life. They possess the rare ability to take experiences that are chaotic, painful, or even destructive, and transform them into insight, strength, and influence. This sign's connection to Pluto, the planet of transformation and regeneration, means that Scorpios are intimately familiar with cycles of death and rebirth. Every setback, betrayal, or crisis is a chance for metamorphosis, turning obstacles into stepping stones for empowerment. Chaos is not a hindrance. It is the raw material from which they craft resilience and dominance. Emotionally, Scorpio is intensely perceptive. They sense underlying motives and hidden truths with uncanny precision, often noticing the cracks in systems, relationships, or situations long before anyone else does. This insight gives them a tactical advantage in turbulent circumstances. Where other signs might be paralyzed by fear or uncertainty, Scorpios see leverage. They know how to navigate complex emotional landscapes, and they thrive when others are overwhelmed. Their ability to remain composed amid destruction is part of what makes them formidable. They are not only unshaken by chaos, but invigorated by it. Scorpio's fascination with power and control can make them appear almost intoxicating during times of upheaval. They possess an aura of mystery, which often unsettles others, but simultaneously draws people toward them. In moments of crisis, a Scorpio will assess, calculate, and act with precision, converting disarray into advantage. They excel in environments where strategy, emotional acuity, and risk management are essential. Scorpios are not reckless. They revel in intensity, yet always with purpose and awareness. This sign's relationship with destruction is not merely about chaos for its own sake. It is about transformation. Scorpios understand that from destruction comes renewal, and from the collapse of the old arises opportunity for mastery. They are adept at turning even the darkest circumstances into pathways for personal empowerment, whether in their careers, relationships, or inner growth. Their resilience is legendary. While others flee or despair, Scorpios harness turmoil to evolve, strategize, and gain control. In essence, Scorpio thrives where chaos reigns. They do not merely endure destruction, they internalize it, learn from it, and manipulate it into a source of power. This fearless embrace of the tumultuous, combined with their strategic mind and emotional depth, makes them one of the most formidable signs of the zodiac. Scorpios are the true alchemists of chaos, turning fire into fuel, ruin into resilience, and destruction into dominance. 1. Capricorn builds their empire amid ruins, thriving where others fall. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is the embodiment of discipline, patience, and long-term vision. This earth sign thrives where others might crumble, possessing a remarkable ability to see opportunity in the ashes of failure and the chaos of collapse. Unlike more impulsive signs, Capricorn approaches life strategically, analyzing the landscape even amid turmoil. While other zodiac signs may panic or retreat when confronted with destruction, Capricorns are uniquely equipped to plan, adapt, and build foundations that are stronger than ever, turning adversity into lasting success. At the heart of Capricorn's strength is their unwavering resilience. They are not deterred by setbacks. In fact, they often welcome them as tests of endurance and capability. Life's challenges, even catastrophic ones, are seen as necessary steps on the path to mastery. Capricorns understand that true growth and achievement require effort, patience, and persistence, qualities that allow them to rise where others fall. While chaos might paralyze some, Capricorn views it as an environment to exercise judgment, leadership, and resourcefulness. Capricorns possess a natural talent for turning crises into opportunities. Their practical mindset enables them to assess situations objectively, prioritize what truly matters, and implement solutions with precision. This strategic perspective makes them exceptional at managing projects, organizations, or relationships, even when circumstances are unstable. Where others see obstacles, Capricorns see blueprints for success, and where others see endings, they envision new beginnings. Their ability to build structure and order amid disorder is one of their most defining traits. Emotionally, Capricorns are composed and calculated. While they may appear reserved, their inner strength is immense, providing a steadying presence when situations are volatile. They do not act recklessly or let emotions cloud their judgment. Instead, they approach challenges methodically, focusing on long-term outcomes rather than short-term gratification. This maturity allows them to maintain control in environments where impulsive behavior could be disastrous. Capricorn's relationship with destruction is not one of fear or avoidance. It is of mastery and transformation. They have an innate understanding that life's upheavals are opportunities to test their limits and refine their abilities. Ambition, discipline, and foresight combine to make Capricorn a sign that not only survives chaos, but uses it to construct empires that endure. They are the ultimate architects of resilience, taking the ruins of failure or misfortune and methodically crafting structures of lasting achievement. In essence, Capricorn thrives where others falter. They see beyond immediate chaos, identifying opportunities that others overlook, and apply their unparalleled discipline to turn disorder into triumph. While many signs may be overwhelmed by destruction, Capricorn remains unshaken, building their empire amid the ruins, proving that true power is measured not by avoiding challenges, but by mastering them. Which zodiac sign do you think could watch the world burn and stay unbothered? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more zodiac truths and secrets.